Welcome to Huntsville and welcome to Mars Music Hall. I'm Bob Arnone with Get It Right. We provide 3D animations to help improve rules knowledge and on-field mechanics. Thank you NASO and everybody who has supported us since we debuted the first Get It Right program in 2013 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We've come a long way. We have clients in all 50 states and 15 countries, but there's a lot more that we need to do. A lot of y'all are familiar with our mechanics program, where we use vision cones to show where the officials need to be on the field and how the crew interacts to keep the play covered. We have first-person view, third-person view, and multiple camera angles to help explain how the mechanics work. We have over 100 rules animated for the high school level, and we have over 50 rules animated for the NCAA-based programs that we have. We have an evaluation module where we present 7 scenarios with multiple infractions, where the official goes in, answers a few questions, and it scores them on how well they've handled that scenario. And as many compliments as we have received over the years, the one thing that we've always had missing was an ability to evaluate how well that official is applying these concepts to his trade. Historically, how have we done that? Okay, we've all been here before. We have a training session for all officials, but especially first and second year officials, and we always prefer to try to get them out on the field. This is drone footage of a camp that we did last year here in Alabama. But let's break this down, because we're exposing these officials to mechanics, we're not really training them. And let's take a look at what we have here. First of all, we have a group of new back judges here trying to learn the trade of a back judge. And we got this guy right in here who's in the hot seat. We have an instructor here who's 10, 15 yards away from him, trying to explain to him where he should be looking, what he should be doing in preparation for that snap. Down here we have a bunch of umpires, where of course the umpire is typically right here, so they're trying to learn what the position is while they're standing out of position. We have Bubba right here. Yes, we're in Alabama. We have officials named Bubba, and he's trying to teach them what their duties and responsibilities are during the course of the play. And once this play is over, we're going to quickly cycle in the next guy so we can quickly get through this session to stay on schedule. Then after about an hour, we're going to be in a classroom and we're going to talk about how did it go? What did you see? Did you have any issues? We'll talk them through all the different plays, and in our minds we're trying to figure out what is that official talking about. As instructors, we're trying to process that ourselves, and then we're going to give an answer. You should do this, not do that. And somewhere in this process, we think we're getting it right, but I'm not convinced that we are. And that's what we're trying to fix. Okay, now we leave the practice field, now we go on to the game field. We still need to evaluate officials during a live game like this. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about this guy right here. He's an Army veteran. The Army instills values of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Pretty good values for an official, right? So as you go out recruiting, think about any military that you know currently in uniform or out of uniform that may be in your community. That's a good source of officials to get them onto the field. Also contact battlefields to ball fields. It's a foundation founded by Mike Piera, and he helps military transition into all the different sports officiating positions. In addition, he helps offset the cost of making that transition. And for football officials, they get a free copy of the Get It Right program. If you're currently in uniform, think about becoming an official. You're going to feel very comfortable with the camaraderie, the mission focus, and how you can serve the community. It's quick decisions, under pressure, people yelling at you. It's just like being in the Army again. Okay, so let's get back to the film here. We're trying to evaluate a crew of 7, but what you can see from this end zone shot is we only see 3 officials. And from the press box view, maybe we're going to see 4. So while we like using game film for training, sometimes it's not the best thing to use to see how that crew is interacting. So let's go ahead and run this play We don't know if that official is looking in the right spot. We tend to look at where his hat is pointing to see if he's looking in the right area or not. We don't know what his thought process is as the play is going through. And the other problem that we run into with game film is this is where this film stops. The next film is going to start at that pre-snap read, and we missed a whole lot in between. We didn't see what the dead ball officiating was all about. We don't know if the crew had any administrative things they had to do, marking off a penalty or anything like that, and we just plain missed those. And that's one thing that we're trying to correct. Okay, welcome to virtual reality, and the way Get It Right is applying that. As you might recognize, these are the same scenarios that we have in our basic deluxe program. So now we'll go into the virtual reality piece. So let's go into punt. You can pick a position that you want. Let's go to the back judge. And now you're in that back judge's position. Okay, we're going to hit play. And what we want the back judge to do is not officiate error. Don't watch that ball. But Gianna, this time you're going to watch that ball. So how many times have you evaluated officials and then you talk to them later on that they're officiating error like that? Watching that ball in the air. So now we can see exactly what that official is looking at during the course of the play. Okay, let's back it up again. Let's hit play. And this time you need to do exactly what you should do. Once the ball is kicked, shift your attention over to those receivers. Okay, you're in good position. Ball is kicked, shift to the receivers. So the first time she would have missed that fair catch signal. This time she's got it. And now we have the kicking team with the ball there in the end zone. Let's go one more time. This time I want you to move, stay on the goal line and get between those two receivers. So and go ahead and hit play. So one of the things we can do with the virtual reality is as you're working your philosophy on what the mechanics ought to be, you can use this to put yourself on the field and figure out what the best positioning would be, what the best angle would be for any of those officials on the field, and you can improve your mechanics in that regard. Now that's the virtual reality piece. We have one more thing to show you. Okay, in the virtual reality, we see what the official is looking at. Now we're going to take you into what's called mixed reality. So we'll go into the long pass here. And just like in the deluxe program, not only can you pick the scenario, but you can pick the crew size. We're going to go to a crew of 5. And then we'll drop down to the back judge. Look up again. Okay, now hit pause. If you can hit M, please. Now we're in mixed reality. So Jackson, as you turn your head side to side, now we can see where he's looking in the context of how this formation is laid out. Move back and forth. We can also see where he's moving. So now we get position. We also see where he's looking. Right now, we're going to show red and blue dots, almost like the X's and O's that coaches use, but we'll talk more about that later on. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play. Yep, go to the middle. Hit play. We can see how this play develops. Ball is snapped, and we see how he reacts. Again, you can go to the virtual reality piece and see what he's looking at. Hit V. We can separate those other crew members and see just where he's looking. Go ahead and hit M again. And that takes you back into the first person view. We are filming this today in early August. We will have this available for sale at GetItRightTraining.com at the end of this month. Okay, we have plenty of work that we still want to do in the future. Let me show you where we're going on this. Right now, he's in the first person view. Let's go up into our view here. The way we'll set up right now, we have just one person wearing the goggles. We're going to make it so that all officials on the field will have a set of goggles. What that's going to do for us is put us into an online mode where all the officials can see the same play at the same time as it's being executed. How many times do you have your crew try to train when they're scattered all over the state? We do this online, you're going to be able to do more of that together. Let's hit V on this. Earlier on, I talked about those red and blue dots. Here, we actually have the players that are rendered in. We should also have this ready by the end of this month. Do you like these formations that we have? We're going to set it up where you can create your own. Do you have a school that puts together a pretty unique formation that might challenge your pre-snap reads? You're going to have the ability to change the positions of those players and talk through that. Do you like the rules that we have? How about getting in reps in a virtual reality mode? We've already done some testing on that. We're ready to get that implemented a little bit later this year. Remember the evaluation module. All those are pre-programmed events. Now what we can do with VR is run you through that scenario and see if you were in the right position, looking where you were supposed to be, to see that you even saw an infraction that occurred during that play. So we're going to continue to exploit technology. And oh, by the way, we got other sports waiting in the wings. Train today for a better game tomorrow. Get it right.
Huntsville is known as the Rocket City, but it also has a rich arts and cultural history.
There's an outlet for everybody in Huntsville creatively. Huntsville does value traditional Southern culture and art, but it also is not afraid of taking chances and trying new things. And that comes from being a very innovative city and a very intelligent city.
If you're a beer and food enthusiast, you're going to find more breweries in this county than you will anywhere else in the state of Alabama. You could hit a different brewery every day and visit a local restaurant every day for lunch and dinner and never go to the same place twice.
Regardless of what kind of outdoor experience you prefer, let us invite you to come visit Huntsville and see our mountaintops, our birding trails, walk along our streams, and enjoy.
Huntsville is on the cusp of something. You can just notice when you get here that you feel the pulse of the city and they're always on the cusp of the next big thing. You just want to be a part of that. And I think being an entrepreneur, starting a new business, this town just kind of helps you get to that in a way that I've never seen before.
Huntsville embodies the spirit of exploration. If you're a traveler, you're an explorer. And Huntsville is a place you'll want to come to, and you'll find like-minded people who are interested in the next big thing and who are interested in going on further, on to more planets, back to the moon, and on forward.